as they were walking up the street, we saw literally a traffic jam of police buses full of SWAT and National Guard.
And they just turn the corner and they start encircling us.
We're being surrounded right now.
And they circled the park within less than 2 minutes. And so everybody just dispersed in different directions.
Dave, let's go, let's go, let's go!
I don't know what we did because we booked it out of there fast down an alley. We heard from one guy that he got beaten to the ground and arrested.
I was leaving, what do they call it, that park there? Shanley Plaza, and cops were coming up. We were walking out, you know. I thought they started running, you know. And I was already up to the museum, the dinosaur, the museum there. And the cop made a comment about moving, and I told him, I'm going. And then at that point he just yelled something like, you're under arrest, and grabbed me and just threw me on the ground, and you know, kept hitting my face on the mat, and kept trying to tell me to relax. I told him, how was I supposed to relax with that? Bent back my leg and did some other stuff, you know.
Did you get arrested, or? Yeah,
I got a hearing on the 30th. I think it's a pre-trial hearing because they haven't really, we got the charges, but we didn't like get to rule, say guilty or not guilty, or plea, either way. So. But I'm going to plead not guilty because it's garbage, you know what they're saying.
Alright, this is the face of the G20.
Pittsburgh, buddy. G20 happening right here. Tomorrow is our day. Any anarchist that sees this video after this event happens, this is a call for when the next one comes, you be here. Give a more overwhelming force to help us win. You're watching the government rape your land and kill your people, no matter where you are. It's a globalization issue. It's not an American issue. It's not a Canadian issue. It's not a European issue. Israeli, Iranian, none of that. It's not about Afghanistan or Pakistan. It's about the people. And the people will fucking rise up. And then grab your brother's hands. Don't let that shit go down like that.
If you could you please just make sure to tell me what happened last night on PIT?
I wasn't there for the entire action. I got there around 11 o'clock at night. I know that for about 5 to 6 hours before that, the remnants of actions in Lawrenceville and Bloomfield, sort of the east end of town, were moving over, and people ended up dancing in Shanley Plaza, which is the green in front of the Cathedral of Learning, which is the main, main institution. That's where all the classrooms are, and the Hillman Library, two of the biggest, the landmarks of the Pitt campus. And in between is Shanley Plaza, where the kids kind of can sit. It's just a big open space. By the time I got there, riot cops had cornered off the entire plaza at this intersection, Forbes and Bigelow, in between the cathedral and the Hillman Library. Everyone, from what I saw, majority, I would say 95% of the people were Pitt students observing. Eventually, they started shooting pepper balls, and not necessarily tear gas, but they were gassing and using smoke grenades, which did hit several Pitt students and several people in general. But they essentially evicted the students from their campus, which was shut down because behind there was Phipps Conservatory, where the dignitaries were eating their dinner or whatever, and this was maybe 3 blocks away from Phipps. So as it transpired, they just kept shooting smoke grenades, hitting people. We didn't want to go. This is our campus. Why is it shut down? Kids were actually coming down from the 3 towers, which is on the same block. They're on the same block for the most part. Just sitting there at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and they eventually hit several students with rubber bullets. It just escalated and escalated, and the riot police had actually pushed all the students probably 3 or 4 blocks down into the residential area away from the campus, and they were still had the cops just left, I think the situation would have been a lot calmer, but as it turned out, there were people arrested, students arrested. I heard that there were people beaten, students beaten. Unfortunately, I didn't have my camera. but it was just a mess, and it made me sad as a Pitt student to see our my fellow classmates or whomever just sitting there laughing and talking to people on their cell phones like, oh my God, the cops suck. Like, well, if they suck, they're on your campus, do something about it. And there were some people yelling, but it was all this anger directed toward the police rather than, just like the idea of gassing rather than the larger issue. And I don't know that they really ever got the message or if they even care, which is just so disheartening to me. But that's the University of Pittsburgh, I guess. I don't know exactly.
If University of Pitt students had been more prepared to know that they were going to be terrorized by police, they probably would have brought some masks as well, but they were just using their sweatshirts or whatever they could to cover themselves up. But I mean, they were being gassed in their quad, so it's just I can't imagine coming out of my dorm room and seeing a stormtrooper riot guard coming down and like throwing tear gas canisters at us. That's just, people in this country need to know that happened. The university students across the country need to rise up together and say that we're not going to allow this to happen. And they're already starting to do that in California. But unfortunately, it is being covered up.
Continue with your operation. Hammer and angle up on about 10 minutes for the tower on top. Jack 4-6 to that unit. Initiate hammer and angle. After we get the encirclement, we're going to back towards Shanley Park section. Shanley Park section over the airport. That's the damage Sherman line along. That's still right.
You never turn in a friend!